The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Salem Media of Hawaii.
Welcome to Generations Radio, where the focus is on our seniors and their families. We are here each Saturday afternoon from 5 until 6 p.m., bringing you resourceful information with our radio team of professionals in the field of aging. Stay with us for the next 1 hour as we explore different ways to make life more exciting and meaningful for our extraordinary seniors. Right here on AM 690 The Answer. And now, here is our host and the publisher of Generations Magazine, Percy Ihara.
Good afternoon there, and welcome back to Generations Radio. I'm Percy Ihara, the host every week here, and sometimes I have guest hosts. But anyway, here on AM 690 The Answer, as you guys know, and if you're listening online, go to generations808.com. Before I forget, because I always forget, please go ahead and like our Facebook page on generations808.com. So anyway, this is the aftermath. This is a week after our 10th annual Aging in Place workshop. And thanks to all our sponsors that really supported the program, and for this is our 10th year doing it. I'll thank them in a little bit, but yeah, if it wasn't for the sponsors, we could not put this event on for free. We had over 1,500 attendees, if not more. We don't really know exact amounts because you don't have to register, as you guys know, that have come to our Aging in Place workshop, but it was very well attended. I got calls last Saturday morning, as early as 7 o'clock, and then continued to 8 o'clock while we were setting up, and people were calling about where to park. Can they come to only 1 or 2 sessions? I had a lady that kind of made me stop in my tracks a little bit. She said, Percy, can I come for just a half an hour? I said, sure, you can come for. Can I ask why you can't stay all day, or at least half the day? She said, I'm my husband's full-time caregiver, and I can't be away from him that long. Luckily, she lives across the street from the Ala Moana Shopping Center, so she just walked over to the Ala Moana Hotel, got information, and then went back to take care of her husband. But those are the kind of calls, and that was some of the reasons why we do this show. We do the workshop, but and we got a lot of people asking for us to do 2 workshops next year, which we gonna find a way to do that. We need more volunteers, we need more sponsors, but overall, I'm really thrilled. As we talked about with Mike Buck on his radio show, is that we're finding more and more younger people attend the workshop. But anyway, what we wanted to do today was just kind of give you, the listeners, some insights on some of the workshops, what we learned from the workshop, and we're gonna have two guests here that are going to kind of tell you their observations, but also about the need of their program. So we have Martha Clopen from gettoinsurance.com.
That's right.
Our local Medicare expert, and Amber Kanoa from Carden Outreach Ladies. So thank you very much.
Thanks, Percy.
Thank you.
And thanks for presenting last week. I know your room was too small. We had
standing room only.
It was standing room only. We brought in way too many extra seats. I know. I was telling you earlier that I saw the fire department come, so hopefully they don't come next year. But yeah, we're going to find a way to provide more resources on a regular basis, because we only do this workshop once a year. So, but anyway, so Martha, for those of you, people must know who you are by now. All the workshops you do, your own radio show that's on Saturday mornings, right?
That's right.
And what time is your show on?
Well, actually, it comes on Saturday afternoon at noon.
Oh, okay.
And also Sundays at 9:30 a.m.
9:30 a.m. Mm-hmm. So yeah, check her out. She's also on AM 690. The
That's
Answer.
Right.
But so give our audience that wasn't able to attend some information and some observations that you had for the crowd that you got.
Sure, Percy, I would be happy to do that. I immediately started to receive emails right after the workshop, and it continued into the following week. And there were actually a lot of adult children who had questions on behalf of their older parents who have Medicare plans. And what's so interesting is when a person selects a Medicare plan, you don't really know how it will work until you actually start using the services. So a lot of my questions from folks involved, my parents have Medicare, but it seems that they're paying a lot for their medication and they have a primary and a secondary plan. And what I was able to share is make sure that the pharmacist has the updated ID information. And Percy, you won't believe this, but there was one family that emailed me and said, Martha, we took back one of your recommendations and we were already able to get substantial return in money that had been paid out in error because my parents aren't showing the right cards.
So back up again. Now you went to you talk about the pharmacy. The pharmacist requires something else? An ID?
Well, the pharmacist only can make a claim based on the information they may have on file. And in some cases, people have primary coverage that might be through Medicare and a secondary coverage. But if you don't show the pharmacist both cards, they may only make the claim to one entity and you may be losing out on some benefits. So in this case, the person was paying out more in co-payments than they needed to because the pharmacist did not have that second second insurance ID card. So I was able to simply say, go back to the health plan and send those bills that weren't covered. And they found out they will be getting a check.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That
Yeah.
just from them attending your workshop?
Yeah, the one that you so graciously put on for no charge. And yes, they came to my session and they were able to report back that they're already saving money. And they said they can't wait to come back next year.
Yeah, so actually, I'll mention it again later on, but next year in 2017, the date is August 19th.
Oh, you got the date already.
Saturday.
Terrific.
So we're going to start putting it out very early. We're going to continue to put it in the magazine because I know that you're listening out there. You're listening to the radio show, but we have a lot of Generations Magazine readers that have followed us for years. But what are some of the questions about Medicare that you had that maybe you're finding more older adults, children coming out for their parents? What kind of questions are they asking? Are they asking good questions though?
Yes, the adult children of parents who are on Medicare are asking good questions. But Percy, I need to note that also people turning 65 this year and next year are very confused about what they need to do because they're still working. So a lot of people are uncertain if you're still working at age 65 and you have current medical coverage. Do you need to do anything? So that question came up quite a bit, as well as people who are covered under their spouse's federal plan or EUTF plan, and they do not know how those plans coordinate with Medicare. And each one has a separate set of rules. So we also had a lot of people turning 65 who can't believe that they're already turning 1965. But if you were born in 1951, you are turning 65 this year.
Or you grad school, right?
1969 graduates,
right?
Going out, hanging out with them at a party this weekend, the graduates of 69. Yes, graduates of the class of 69, most of them turned 65 this year, and if they started a little younger, next year. But yes, the class of 1969, they're aging into Medicare.
And I know you've done a number of workshops for those classes, haven't you?
Absolutely. And Percy, there were a few folks at the Aging in Place conference from the class of 69 that have been to some of my workshops, and they came out because they said you cannot find information like what you provide at the Aging in Place conference. You just can't find that information trying to look on your own on the internet because you often don't know where to start. You often don't know what questions, how to frame the questions. And if you don't frame the questions correctly, you may not get the answer you were seeking. So the Aging in Place conference is definitely, a lot of people have that on their calendar, and they do look forward to attending each year.
Yeah. So we'll get back to Martha on Medicare, but Amber Kanoa from Carden Outreach, your room as well. I don't have the numbers here, but your room again was just packed. And I know did you guys talk about mostly Medicare, Medicaid for long-term care, or Medicare?
We went over Medicaid for long-term care for majority of it because there are so many different rules and so many different questions people have, which was huge this year because instead of people waiting until the end of the presentation to ask a bunch of questions, people were stopping Cassandra in the middle of it, asking her, can we go over this? And it segued into multiple questions, like talking about the trust and talking about owning homes and what makes people eligible for Medicaid or not. People are always intimidated when they hear the word Medicaid. They just think absolute nothing. You can have nothing. So people are already intimidated. Like, I got to sell my home. My mom is living here. You know, what are we doing? So, like you said, a younger crowd came, asked a lot of questions. Maybe not for right now, but a lot of people are now preparing for what's going to happen if mom goes, or what's going to happen if dad falls again. And that was a huge turnaround from last year to this past year at the Aging in Place workshop.
Yeah, I would guesstimate between 60 and 70% of the attendees in our room, we were in the hibiscus room, were first-time attendees, which kind of shocked me.
Yes.
Right.
Because like I said, I asked the audience, and they said, and they all raised their hands, like, "Wow, I'm kind of surprised they've not seen it in 10 years when we've always been out there the last 10 years." But
Right.
it also could be because, like I said, like we talked about earlier, they're not ready yet.
That's right.
Correct.
But we're seeing a lot more questions, more specific questions, but also questions that they have to get ready for. Because I was telling our group that it's not a matter of if you're going to need long-term care; it's a matter of when.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So some of the children, I saw a 70-year-old with a walker looking for information for his dad.
Wow.
I was like, we had usually get 2 or 3 of those a year, and I was amazed at how many brought their mothers, and they were in their 90s, and brought their mothers in the wheelchair because they couldn't stay home by themselves.
Right.
So the daughters had to bring their mom to the workshop, but it's amazing. So what are some of the questions besides the trust and the Medicaid that you guys get?
Well, another question that a lot of people have is assets and asset limits for people who are single compared to people who are married. Now, the asset limit is totally different. So for a single person, $2,000. That's it. Assets for stocks, bonds, life insurance policies all have to be under $2,000. But as a married couple with somebody that's still in the community, you have an asset limit of up to $119,220. And that includes the same thing. So understanding what counts as an asset, because people have burial plots, people have burial plans, people have stocks in 2 people's names. So who gets it to be counted as an asset? And those are some of the questions that people wanted to be clarified.
And I talked to somebody last week about the funeral plot. Now, you can only have one for yourself, right?
Correct.
And you for your spouse.
Correct.
But if you have you bought 4 for the kids, do you have to put it in their name, or how does that work?
So the rule says that as long as there are bodies that go into these plots, it will not count as an additional asset. So if one person has bought one for themselves, the spouse, and the 2 kids, there's 4 plots, it will not be counted as an additional asset. But if one person bought for 4, only has a body for 1, and there's other 3, those now count as
They bought
assets.
it for an investment.
Right, exactly.
No, it's very
exactly.
true.
And some people do it, or some people buy for their children, and then their children already have a plan for whatever reason they buy it under their spouse. Or so in those cases, we talk about spend down and how that works, and how you have to put that into their account and spend down the assets to under the limit.
Wow. Did you guys talk at all about the MedQuest health insurance side, or just on the Medicaid?
A lot more people wanted to know about the eligibility for the long term. People did come outside and ask questions about the regular Medicaid application, but the majority of the questions were focused around long-term care for the Aging in Place workshop.
So in your experience, because you guys do this on a daily basis, how long does it take for an application to, once they filled everything out and you've gone over everything, is that right? They fill it out and you go over it, make sure it's all completed?
Well, really what happens is after we consult with the patient, we will fill it out with them side by side, and I'll fill out the information just to make sure that information is correctly put in boxes, checked off. If everything is collected, all the information is sent into MedQuest. 3 to 6 months is a good timetable for how long it takes for approval. There have been times
almost
where
like getting a permit for your house.
Exactly. But sometimes we've had applications get approved in a month, and sometimes we've had applications take 6 months, 9 months, 10 months, depending on the severity of the situation. And that's usually if they have assets, if they have trust, if there's been a trust transfer. There's a lot of different situations that could hold up the Medicaid process.
So let me ask you this, because I'm getting more and more clients of mine asking about long-term care because they didn't plan ahead or they couldn't qualify for long-term care insurance. Can they go on Medicaid if they have more than 119,000?
Can they go on Medicaid for long-term care?
Yeah.
No.
So they have to go to a facility and pay private pay.
Correct. And they would spend down the assets, and once they hit that limit, that would be eligibility. Now, do they apply the minute that they're eligible? No. We would actually ask them to come in, just so that by the time that they're eligible for services and under that limit, we've already started the paperwork and the process, and it's a long time for things to get the ball rolling sometimes.
But do people normally, when they call in, do they really have a good idea that that's the route they want to go? They want to go on Medicaid? Do they know what Medicaid is? Well,
and that's the thing is people are usually calling our office to find out more. After the Aging in Place event last week, I had a ton of calls asking, I want to learn more about Medicaid. When would I apply for my parents, or when should I apply myself? There's so many different people that they need the care now, and now we're just kind of rushing. And then there's some people that don't need it for 2 years, but they want to know the proper way to do spend down, what they can use the money on, what process they need. Because some people don't have a power of attorney in line. Some people have a trust on their home, and they want to know, okay, is this home going to be taken away from me? So those are questions that people call in after these events, and we're more than happy to help them with answers.
So what if somebody calls and say, we need to get dad on Medicaid right away? Mm-hmm. Is there an emergency where, like in a week or 2 weeks?
If we're at dad needs to be placed in the next few days, I will go to the client and we will apply within the next 2 days and talk about Medicaid eligibility.
And then how long would Department of Health or Department of Human Services?
Human Services.
Department of Human Services. How long would they take to get it approved?
Well, see, the process over the course of time, this is how the process goes. We get the application done, all the paperwork in, sent to MedQuest. MedQuest has maybe 2-3 weeks before it gets assigned. After it gets assigned from that worker takes another 2 weeks to look at the application. Now, if there isn't things that are together or we need updates, 10 letters get sent out. We have to schedule an interview. And from that point, it just determines on how long the application will take to be approved.
Oh, you must be like in the mortgage business, getting all the documents together,
Close to it.
But you have to have statements, all the bank statements.
We need identification cards, insurance cards. If the patient is married, we need information on the spouse. We need marriage license.
You need marriage license?
Yep. If the patient is married, we need to get property tax assessments. We need to see if they have a mortgage, home equity. Any information that has assets or both the client and the spouse's name on it, we have to provide it to MedQuest.
Wow.
So applications could be 20 some odd pages long, or they could be 80 some odd pages long, depending on what kind of documents we're providing to MedQuest.
Wow. Yeah. You should be in a mortgage business. I mean, my goodness, I think you collect more data than us. So anyway, that's Amber Kanoa, and then who was the presenter last Saturday was Cassandra Stewart, I guess the manager of Carden Outreach, right?
Correct.
So before we go to break, Martha, give us any updates on Medicare that you can see going forward that you've heard of. Have you heard anything yet for this enrollment period starting in October?
Well, there's going to be a reason for people to pay attention to the options that will be offered for the 2017 plan year, because I am hearing that there are going to be some changes that impact people. I can't say what any of them are at the moment, but it would be a good idea to take a good look at the material that comes to you from your health plan to make sure if there's anything that you need to do, you're mindful of the deadlines.
So when people stay on, like HMSA, Kaiser, United Healthcare, Ohana WellCare or
Aloha
Humana,
Care. Mm-hmm.
Do they typically stay with that same plan for years and years, or does it change that much? They need to change the plan.
Actually, Percy, statistics show that usually the first choice is what people will stay with. 77% of people who select the plan stay with that plan throughout their eligibility for Medicare.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yep.
And so what would make them change?
Well, a couple years ago, there was a plan that actually terminated, and people were forced to have to make a decision. I think that was in 2014.
Oh, the zero premium?
Well, their plan ended. About 4 plans ended in the community, so they had to go out and choose a new plan. So in that case, they had no choice.
And is Neighbor Island going to be affected again, like last couple of years?
I think that there's going to be some good news for the neighbor islands.
Oh,
I think
really?
they may have more options.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't know until October 1st, but I do believe there's some information out there that suggests there may be some additional options.
And that's only right around the corner.
Yes, that's right.
October 1st is the start?
That's when we can release information about the 2017 plans.
So that's only
October
like about
1st.
30-something days out.
That's right.
Wow. So you're going to be working 24/7.
Absolutely, I
in
am. I'm
October
very
for
going to
2
be
months,
very
right?
busy.
Wow, good for you. But,
Yes.
I was talking to Mike Buck earlier about politics, and
Oh, okay.
they always want to come on the radio show. As a resource magazine, I'm still debating whether we want to have them on the radio show because they're just going to talk a good game, and not that all politicians do that, but a lot of them do. But we wanted to maybe get more concrete information on their stance about helping seniors in our Kupuna. But have you noticed? I don't know if you guys watch the news or the debates, but nobody's talking about Social Security or Medicare.
That's true, Percy, except I had Colleen Hanabusa on my show. And it was really wonderful because I agree with you. We need to be a little bit careful. But she said, let me tell you about my own personal experience. I'm covered as a dependent on my husband's health plan, and he has Medicare. So I needed to get my Medicare Part B because she's class of 69, born in 51. So Colleen Hanabusa turned 65 this year. So I got a lot of calls from that show, and it really resonated with a lot of the listeners that Colleen Hanabusa had to work through that Social Security Medicare system. And she said her husband said, Colleen, what are you politicians doing about the Medicare and the Social Security? This system is a little complicated. And she had personal experience, so she agreed. And she said that is something that is very important to her. And she will be pushing for programs and services and support so we can keep Social Security and Medicare strong for our Kupuna.
And Amber, do you know by any chance at all on the Medicaid side, if the state's going to be getting more money or not? Have you guys get to that level?
No, we haven't. Usually every beginning of the year, they reevaluate, Medicaid and how many people are in need of it. But as of right now, no, nothing new.
Do you have an idea how many people are on Medicaid?
Do I have an idea of how? No, I actually don't know how many people are on Medicaid currently.
Okay, I'm going to find that for the next show.
Yes.
But anyway, we're going to take a short break here. We're with Martha Clopen from GetToInsurance.com and our resident Medicare specialist who has her own radio show, and it's Saturdays at noon and Sundays at 9:30.
That's correct.
Here on AM 690, The Answer. And then, so Amber Kanoa and Cassandra's not here, the manager of Carden Outreach. But we probably want to see you guys at our November event, if you've heard that November event, the Mayor's Country and Craft Fair.
Oh, okay.
November 9th from, I believe, 8:30 to 2. We're going to have over 2,000 seniors come.
Awesome.
Beautiful.
So it's a Saturday as well. So we'll have exhibits as well. So I don't know if you got the email, but it's going to come out pretty soon. So
Okay.
anyway, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back talking more about the Aging in Place workshop and all the speakers. Thank you.
Percy Ihara from Generations Radio. If you have any questions or want to be part of our discussion, give us a call at 296-5467. That's 296-5467. This is Generations Radio on AM 690 The Answer.
Did you know 26 million Americans have kidney disease and most don't know it?
The day I was diagnosed, I didn't know what to do. I called the National Kidney Foundation, and the young lady who answered stayed on the phone with me and walked me through step by step. She too was surviving kidney disease, and she showed me there could be life after kidney disease.
Visit the National Kidney Foundation at kidney.org. Now you know.
Moon Physical Therapy is here to help you back to recovery. Moon Physical Therapy is located on Ward Avenue across from Sports Authority. Physician prescribed for motor vehicle accidents, workman's comp, or that body pain that comes from rushing to play without warming up. Also event cardiopulmonary rehabilitation with our one-on-one patient care. Moon's Aquatherapy heated endless pool allows for low-impact exercise with less pain on land. We will give you the right exercises to get you back to health. Ask your doctor to prescribe Moon Physical Therapy. Moon Physical Therapy. We achieve results.
Aloha, this is Martha Clopen.
And Al Harrington. Choosing the right Medicare plan not only saves you money, it also helps you avoid headaches and heartaches down the road.
We want to remind everyone
to listen to a Medicare Moment with Martha, Sundays from 9:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we help answer important questions on Medicare so you can stay healthy, wealthy, and wise all year long.
Call me at 543-2073, 543-2073.
I was an addict from the age of 13. I finally decided it was time for a change. I walked into the Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Center, and that got me ready for the real world. Now, I choose to be guided by Jesus Christ, and today, I'm building a powerful and promising future, free from drugs and alcohol.
Please shop at the Salvation Army family stores. With our discounted sales, your support through your purchase helps men live a clean, sober, and productive life.
Got Vegas on your mind? Get Vacations Hawaii on the line. Vacations Hawaii offers weekly 4 and 5 night Honolulu to Vegas packages, which include 3 meals daily from $6.99. Stay at Hawaii's favorite casinos: California, Fremont, Main Street Station, and Orleans Hotel. Vacations Hawaii will get you there in comfort on deluxe wide-body 767 planes with complimentary in-flight hot meal service. Vacations Hawaii's frequent flyer program gives you future travel discounts and credits. So if you're ready to win big, call Vacations Hawaii at 591-4777 or visit pointVacationsHawaii.com.
Today, more than ever, we local people are living longer than any other state in the Union, with more seniors, baby boomers, and caregivers. Generations Radio promotes the importance to be proactive as we all age. The radio team will focus on issues facing our seniors and their families, finding resources to navigate healthy aging along with financial, legal, and caregiving information. So join Percy Ihara from 5 until 6 each Saturday, right here on AM 690 The Answer. Focusing on the issues facing our seniors and their families today. Here's our Generations Radio host, Percy Ihara.
Welcome back to Generations Radio. This is Percy Ihara. We're back, and then we've got to say goodbye to our guest, Martha Clopen from GetToInsurance.com, our Medicare expert. Martha, thank you so much. I mean, you always do a great job, and I know you had an event at the Pacific Club, but I heard you like almost 200, 300 people?
Yes. We were expecting 75 people. There were 150 walk-ins, and it was a total of 300 that ended up attending. And
wow.
My son drove me up, and it was really crowded, and I was wondering, what kind of event is the Pacific Club having? And then I walk into the room, and it's like, oh, it was for my Medicare presentation.
Wow.
I was really blown away by that. And this was an event for physicians and their patients. Isn't that interesting that physicians understand that patients need more help with understanding Medicare, and then the physicians themselves also encouraged me to do something for them. So it was wonderful, and I've gotten so many emails about the information I provided, and it basically was Medicare happens.
Yeah, you're going to age in, and you saw me 502 every month turn 65 in Hawaii.
In Hawaii, 502 a month, and that's expected to last until the year 2020.
Wow. I'll be 2020. I won't be there yet.
Not quite.
But pretty soon. But anyway, thank you. And then Amber Kanoa from Carden Outreach, thank you so much. I know you guys got to run, but so one last quick tip about Medicaid. What should they know? I mean, there's tons of them, right? But
right. Medicaid, last thing to know, if you're interested about long-term care and you want to know about whether your family, parents, grandparents qualify, schedule to come see me, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions you have.
And Carden Outreach, your phone number is?
566-6666.
I'm sorry, Martha, your phone number, I got to get your number out there as well.
Sure. For Medicare, my number is 237-2420.
Okay, I make sure I have that random, because I have like 3 phone numbers for you. But anyway, ladies, thank you very much. Have a great weekend.
Thank Thank you,
Thanks,
Percy.
And we'll see you again.
Aloha.
Don't forget, I'm going to call you guys up for the November 9th Mayor's Country and Craft Fair. Okay?
Got it.
Awesome.
Okay.
All
Thank
right.
you.
All right. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is our. We're going on. How long has it been, Leah? Now over a year now, right? We've been doing it. On the Generations Radio, and more of you have been tuning in. So thank you very much. Tell your neighbors, tell your classmates, tell your friends, people at church, to tune in every Saturday from 5 to 6 and Sunday from 3 to 4. I did want to spend a little bit of time. Flying off the racks today is the August-September issue of the Generations magazine. And if you haven't picked one up yet, go online, generations808.com, click on distribution on the right, it has all the locations. If not, every doctor office gets them. And on page 3 of the magazine has over 200 locations. But the easiest place to get it, when people call me, I always say, where do you live? And it's easiest by going by the state libraries. We're in every island. So over 49 or 50 libraries statewide have the magazine. If they don't have them call me. Every doctor office, specific, certain Safeway longs and times have them. So like in Safeway, we're at Beretania, Enchanted Lake, Eva Beach, Kaneohe, Kapolei, Salt Lake, and Waimalu. For times, it's in Aiea, Kahala, Kaimaki, Kaneohe, Liliha, Mililani, and Waipahu. And Longs is at CVS, Eva Beach, Hawaii Kai, Kahala Mall, Kapolei, Manoa. Well, they have a lot. Pali, Pearl Ridge, and University in King Long. So check that out. That's probably the easiest way to get them around the island. On Maui, it's Kaunoa Center, the Center on Aging. Give them a call. They have a bunch of them over there. On the Big Island, you guys are lucky. I love KTA. KTA distributes several hundred copies each month for us. So thanks to them. And on Kauai, we haven't had a whole lot of places, but the Kauai Office on Aging, go see Kealoha Takahashi for Pick Up a Magazine. Like I said, you can subscribe as well, and you can go to our website, generations808.com. But I really should be talking about our magazine more because we are an award-winning magazine. We just won an award from the Hawaii Publishers Association. We've won awards from Hara Hawaii Alliance of Retired Americans. We've won awards from the Office on Aging. So thank you very much. And we keep on continuing going out there to serve our community and providing great resources. I did want to really talk about also as well the California Hotel. Kevin Kaneshiro, Dave Levy, the general manager in California Hotel there. Kevin Kaneshiro is a marketing officer here. And then Ashlyn Manos, the marketing director for all of the board gaming in Las Vegas. But if you haven't gone yet, this coming week, we're going to be having every room in the California Hotel will have a copy of the Generations magazine. And I know when you drive in or you walk into the hotel, the foyer or the bell area is brand new. When you go to the front desk, it's nice and clean. Then when you look to your left where the big room is, the floor, you're going to see brand new chandeliers. I mean, they did a great job, and it's beautiful. Everything is new there. Probably not the machines, though, but the floor, the carpet, everything, the paint, everything. They brought the sports book downstairs to make it into a big bar area. So everything is very good. And if you get a chance, the Noodle House, which I went to myself, I was quite impressed with the food. But more importantly, our table had about 5 people. The prices were very reasonable. I was kind of afraid to go in there because I know a lot of hotels, the restaurants are pricey, but their restaurant was pretty fair price, and the quantities were very big. So thanks to them and that Noodle House. But I know I love the Pasta Pirate. I know you did too. But the Noodle House does a very good job. But so check it out. I know they're getting booked every month, every week. So if you want to book a trip to them, go down to the Board Gaming in California Hotel office in the Alamana Pacific building. I believe it's 9th floor. But check them out. We're starting a new column this month in the August-September issue. Besides the grandparenting column, which is this month, is going to have my parents, Shirley and Leslie Ihara. But we're starting a news column for our veterans. And a longtime friend of mine, Rona Adams, who actually is a retired Vietnam nurse, Yeah, Vietnam nurse. And so she talks about the movie MASH. She was actually on the front lines as a nurse. And that's some of our forgotten warriors out there. But she will write a column every issue, 6 times a year, about the different programs and services for veterans in the state of Hawaii. She is on it. She has every week I get an email from her about what's going on. So she can be reached at ronaadams@hawaii.rr.com. If you have any questions regarding veteran services or programs in the state of Hawaii, she'll get back to you. She's all over the island in the state, and she always emails me about events. So she has a new column called At Your Service. And a sneak peek is that in our October-November issue, we'll be covering veterans. And it's going to be feature 4 veterans from the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and World War II, World War I, II, and Vietnam War. So I'm not good at my history. But anyway, we did a photo shoot last week, and it's going to turn out great. So look out for that. That's the October-November issue. I really have to thank our intern. We have an intern every year, actually every 6 months, from the University of Hawaii. Stephanie Kim wrote an article on page 7. She actually interviewed 2 seniors about what's going on in Hawaii. And it's interesting. She asked the question about the bus or rail. And I said, shoot, you got to talk about the parks and recs, about all the services and programs over there. So thanks to her and Stephanie. And she's got 1 more year at UH, and you'll be seeing her around. She is a great student of journalism and a great person to work with. And so you'll see her out there, actually, after she graduates in a year. But she's going to be making a mark in our community here. I did want to mention in our August-September issue, we honored the Older Americans Month, which was, I believe it was in June. On June 3rd, actually, the state honored 8 citizens over the age of 60 as their Older Americans Month honorees. And the governor came down, Governor Ige, and thanks to Kahala Nui, they did a special presentation there and a lunch. But that's the lifeblood of our community. And with senior issues and senior programs, they really have to be dependent on volunteers. So thanks to all the volunteers there. It was a great day at Kahala Nui. So thanks to Kahala Nui for sponsoring that event. And if you like Las Vegas, like I said, you got to pick a copy up because it's running out. I just talked to our distributor this morning, and it is running out. It's flying off the racks, as he put it. And so grab a copy. If not, you can go to our website, generations808.com, to read that copy and look at all the great photographs that we took. By the way, I talked about Kevin Kaneshiro, the marketing director for Vacations Hawaii. He did write a column on page 28 about summer tips for senior travelers and talked about bringing snacks, bring a washable travel pillow, reading material. But what I found the best thing that I do now is, that big craze with the hydro flasks. I got one right in front of me right now. I take the hydro flask, put it in my bag, my carry-on bag, and when I get there, fill it up with water. Because you can't come through the gate or TSA with water in your hand carry. So I just bring my hydro flask. When I get inside past TSA, I fill it up with water. That we don't have to buy water because water is very expensive at the stores. But it's a great way to stay hydrated because you do get dehydrated on a 5 or 6 hour flight. So check that article out on page 28. One of our new sponsors of the magazine is St. Francis Healthcare System of Hawaii. They are brand new with us, and they'll be writing columns, and pretty soon we'll be talking more about the new campus that they're building out there in Liliha. They do a full service from skilled nursing. They're actually building another daycare. They're going to add another room to the adult daycare, which is they're maxed out already. But they do in-home bathing and personal care services. They have independent living there, and they have a lot of new programs, including Dr. I can see his face, Dr. Corey Liao, who has the Hawaii Pacific Neuroscience Center. It's a lot to keep in my head, Leah, our engineer here. She's laughing at me. Dr. Corey Liao has the Hawaii Neuroscience Center there at Liliha Hospital. So check him out. I mean, they're doing clinical trials. So if you have somebody that has early signs of dementia or Alzheimer's or already have it, you can go see their team of doctors. And I mean team. They got about 8 doctors over there, from nutritionists, psychologists. They have nurses. They when you go in, they'll do a total assessment of what's going on, and you're going to get very well taken care of over there. So thanks to Dr. Corey Liao and the Hawaii Pacific Neuroscience Center. Before I forget, I'm looking at an ad in the magazine on page 31. KITV, thanks to KITV, they are doing the Aging Well segment every Saturday morning about 7:45. That we partner with them, the magazine, Generation Magazine, and KITV. So check her out. Moani does a great interview every Saturday morning, and it's being well watched because they are the only morning news segment so far in the state of Hawaii. But it's well received, and thanks to all our sponsors of that Aging Well segment. So check that out every Saturday morning. As we talked with Martha Clopen, our Medicare specialist here for the magazine and for our radio show, October 1st is the first day you can start applying for Medicare. And if you're one of the 502 people aging into Medicare every month, you really need to do your homework. You really need to check in the workshops, listen to Martha's radio show every Saturday from noon and Sunday at 9:30 on AM 690, because I believe there's over 35 plans right now in the state of Hawaii approved for Medicare. Yes. And how do you decipher, how do you choose a plan? Like Martha said, 77% of people stay with the original plan that they had when they were working, and just go on a Medicare plan. But really, depending on your health, depending on your medications, depending on the services you're going to need and where you live, you really need to pay attention to the Medicare application, the program, and its benefits. So it's really, really important to check that out, because we have more and more Medicare people in our magazine now. I'm looking at an ad from Irma Bennett, who is a specialist with her own company here. I think there's another one in here besides Martha. I know Kaiser is looking at coming in, but please do your homework and check out the workshops. A new movement, I'm glad to see this. When I heard about this, I said, it's called the Men's Shed, SHED. And we talked about 3 months ago, we had the Lanakila Senior Center, the 3 seniors on there. And every time I go there, it's the largest senior center in the state. And about 300 to 500 seniors go through there every day. And I looked around, about 80 to 90% of people there are women. I said 3 months ago, we need to create programs for men. And guess what? There's a men's program coming up. It's called the Men's Shed. It was actually started in Australia 10 years ago. And we have information in the magazine about the Men's Shed. His name is Glenn Sears. And check out the magazine. He's on page 34. His number is 373-6140. But he started a small group here of men. And Men's Shed is really for you tool guys. You remember that show, Tool Time? You tool guys. They were going to go into a city and county senior center, but obviously with the risk of people getting hurt and insurance, they couldn't do it. So they're looking for a location, but they do meet regularly. And it's for guys that love to build and create things with their hands, called the Men's Shed. But give Glenn Shears a call. Another article is coming up that we're going to start is about grandparents' education. And thanks to our friends Pam Lee from Sylvan Learning Center, she'll be writing articles about how it's important about parents taking care of their grandchildren. And a lot of times they're the only ones that can afford to pay for private school or pay for tutoring. So check that article out on page 37. Okay, and so Sylvan Learning Center, they have one in Kahala that I go to, but they do a great job over there. And actually, if you want to learn English, they teach English as well. If you have friends in Japan, every summer they have an exchange program. They come in and they have about, 20 or 30 kids that come in. So it's a cool thing they're doing. So it's Pam Lee over at Sylvan Learning Center in Wailea and Kahala Mall. We always cover books in a magazine. And this book came out recently, and I looked at it. My wife gave it to me several months ago. I looked at it. Oh, okay, it's called It's Just Aging. Looks kind of comical. It's a cartoon book, but so I put it on the side. And my editor, Catherine Smith, said, "Hey, this is a good book here. It's for good. It's written by kids, adults. Kobe Takeda, Carly Tan, Elia Takushi, and of course with the help of Dr. Christy Nishida, they put this together and they published a book called It's Just Aging. And it's about our kupuna talking to their child about aging. And so they did a great job. So check that out. It's something that you would give to your kids to talk about, and they can read about their grandparents. But it's a cute book. I have the book, and it was really cute. As well, in this issue, the August-September issue, by the way, you got to go to the senior fair, which is the last Friday, Saturday, Sunday of September, which will be 23rd, 24th, 25th, because there's going to be over 300 exhibitors. I'll be speaking there as well about aging in place and a reverse mortgage. But more so, I am this year's ambassador. Now, don't laugh. I'm not going to wear a crown. But I have been chosen the ambassador, and I mentioned it last week because I do a lot for seniors. Even though I'm not a senior, I'm 56. But you guys do know there are places that have discounts for 55 and above. So I qualified. And if you don't know by now, I'm trying to look for that page. Every August, September, we have a midsection resource guide of places that give you discounts for seniors. And they do start at 55. Oh, wow, Burger King. Denny's has discounts for 55 and over. Oh, you know what I like about this? It's every day. It's not specific days. Ichiriki, IHOP has a senior discount at 55. Wow, I didn't know that. I need to look at this more often. Jack in the Box, wow, they should publicize this. Well, we are right now. But anyway, McDonald's, they all start at 55. That's kind of young. Papa John's, it starts at 50. 50 discount, 50% off with a discount card. Oh, wow. I was just there the other day. I didn't know Ross's has a discount at 55. I just bought my son's shoes there. I could have saved $3. It's 10% off. Oh, I was there Tuesday. I just bought him new Nike shoes. Kind of nice shoes. I have both 55. Wow. That's a good deal. So anyway, check it out. It's on page 40 and 41. Has the discounts for that we put in a resource guide every year, August, September. Allstate has two. 55. That's the discount, 10% on. So Mark Dixon, my friend, at Allstate there, he put in there at 55. Wow. Let me go see the rest. Hawaii Self-Storage. Home Care by Altris Medical is 50. Wow, that's young. Who else? Let me just mention all the rest because I got to find these. Savers, I know Savers is around still, is 55. I can't believe this. Wendy's, all these fast food places. I don't eat fast food that much. But Wendy's, McDonald's, Samurai Snacks, Papa John's, McDonald's, Jack in the Box, IHOP, Ichiriki. Wow. Denny's and Burger King. So guys, not that I want to encourage you to eat fast food, but if you want to get a snack, that might be going to check it out. Some of the bigger presenters this past weekend at the Aging in Place, Kat Sawai from Body and Mind in Kamiki. She did a workshop that had over 200 people in her room. She was in one of the bigger rooms. Dr. Shintani, he had a great following as well. Thanks to Dr. Shintani, I'll tell you, he always draws people, whether it's a morning session or afternoon session. He just draws so many people. So thanks to Dr. Shintani. And I'm telling you, you guys really should check him out. I've done his 10-day his 10-day his class. They teach you how to cook and buy food and what to eat, what not to eat. He does a great job, and I recommend everybody to take his workshop up. What's interesting, because I'm about 225, 230 pounds, depending on the day, I was one of the heavier people in his class. But when I looked around, at least 70% were relatively normal size or skinny. Go figure. That's what I said. I said, why are these people here? And I realized that skinny does not mean you're healthy. And I was shocked. So what he does, which is cool, the room had about 50 people in my class. And they go around each person. We take about 3 hours. Each person goes through and talks about the ailments. And man, I never heard some of these diseases before in my life. I mean, they have all kinds of diseases out there, and every person had a health issue, except for me. I was just kind of taking the workshop on as a benefit of me going forward, because I'm not on any medication. But I was amazed at how many different ailments people have, and you don't have to be overweight to have them. So it's kind of shocking. But he drew a big crowd there, I'll tell you, and thanks to Dr. Shintani and, of course, his partner, Dr. Diane. He grew a huge number, 170 people in the workshop in the afternoon. Thanks to Stan Michaels from the Department of Health. He did a session on fall prevention called Aging Isn't for Sissies, which is very true. Thanks to Pamela Ani from the Alzheimer's Association. She did 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's. And if you have anybody in your family or friends, neighbors, church group that has early signs or has Alzheimer's dementia-related disease, give them a call because they do workshops every week somewhere on this island. And it's very important that you understand what you're facing, and the disease is a family disease. Also, thanks to Jane Yamamoto Barigse, the community person for the Social Security Administration. She always draws a huge crowd. So thanks to Jane as well. And then in the other room, we had ARP had their 6 presenters. Kurt Carrillo, he's a CAPS member, contractor, talk about home modifications. We had Patricia Bemis, if I want to mispronounce her name, a registered nurse, talked about preparing to care. Lori Protzman from Queens talked about advanced care planning. Ryan Ozawa and Bert Lum talked about social media and different apps. And special investigator from the prosecutor's office, Chris Duque, talked about cybersecurity, which actually drew a huge number of people. I was kind of surprised how many people showed up. In the other rooms, well, of course, my partner is Mr. Michael Yee from Ameriprise Financial, a certified financial planner. He did a great job about how to finance their long-term care needs. And our local writer for the magazine, Mr. Stephen Yim, an attorney, talked about estate planning for you and your family. In our Carnation Room, we had our ladies, and thanks to Hope Young and Cynthia Arnold, they helped actually coordinate all our 70-plus exhibitors. Cynthia did Declutter and Aging in Place, and Hope talked about the care options. And then my kid brother, Danny Hara, talked about senior living options. He's with Keller Williams. And, you know, he does, if you want to go workshops, check out the Tuesday newspaper in the business section. He does workshops every month, probably twice a month. And he talks about, you know, if you're thinking about moving out or if you're thinking about your parents need to move out, he can walk you through those steps. He is the expert on all the facilities in the state, or at least on this island. And he's very well versed. He knows all the places. He can give you a tour. But he knows how all of them are priced, what qualifications are. But if you're ever thinking about that, it's a free workshop he does every month. So he's in the newspaper every Tuesday. So I would highly recommend. I've been to his workshops. He knows a lot about seniors and aging, and it's really important to understand whether you need to downsize or not, or what facilities are available for you. Thanks to Kalakaua Gardens that did specifically a presentation on long-term care facilities. 2 really popular speakers, Diane Cadena, our local personal trainer to seniors. She had a huge group. And thanks to Lois and my lovely lady, Joan Packer, and Wendell, there for helping out with the presentation about how to live in good health and longevity with a personal trainer. And then our resident physical therapist, Julie Moon, did a great job about water therapy and aqua therapy. And if you ever thought about needing physical therapy, you got to go check her out. I go there several times a week to work out. She has a heated pool, and she has a new pool called the HydroWorks. So if you have mobility issues, it's a heated pool that you go in, there's bars on the side, and you walk, and that's actually a treadmill that you can walk or run in water. If you want resistancy, they have actually an endless pool that pushes water out, so you're walking against current. But because you're in water up to your chest or your waist, you're buoyant. So it doesn't put hardly any stress on your joints, especially your back. So if you want to strengthen your muscles, your legs, I would highly recommend Moon Physical Therapy. So anyway, we're almost out of here. As you know, go to Facebook, generations808.com, KITV, every Saturday morning about 7:45 with the Aging Well segment. And I'm telling you right now, November 9th, which is a Saturday, 8:30 to 2 o'clock, there's the Mayor's Country and Craft Fair. Great little fair to come to for Christmas shopping. But we're going to have over probably 20 or 30 exhibitors. But it's free. Bring your mom down there. And it's just a fun day. It's free at the Blaisdell. So anyway, we're out of time here. Thank you very much for tuning in. Go to generations808.com for more information. As always, I'm Percy Ihara. Live well. Aloha.
Thank you.